task for this assignment was to reform the Marbella Design Academy building into a rehabilitation center. I was to convert the existing building into a medical and psychological well-being center, taking into account the minimum facilities required, functionality of the activity, and user requirements. Personally, I find how the brain functions really interesting, and that's why I chose to do a rehabilitation center for both men and women with different types of addiction. The addiction is all in the mind, and that's why someone with an addiction needs to rewire their brain. To rewire your brain means to close a bad pathway in the brain and open a new healthy one, and you can do so by using meditation and different mindfulness techniques. My concept for this project is called rewiring, and it comes from the saying rewire your brain. Not only does my concept reflect how the patient is going to fight the addiction by rewiring their brain, but my concept also reflects how I am rewiring the building of Marbella Design Academy into a rehabilitation center. My architectural inspiration comes from the Children's Center of Psychiatric Rehabilitation designed by Fujimoto. And if you look at the floor plans of this rehabilitation center, you can see it's several separate buildings, which made me think about the neurons within the brain. To take the brain neurons and my architectural inspiration into my building, I decided to look at the building as the brain itself, and a different room within the building as the neurons, which will be connected and rewired as the patients are using them. Since the assignment was to reform Marbella Design Academy, I decided to change the building totally. I moved the entrance one floor down to what we today call the basement. This because I want everyone who enters the building to experience the whole building like it was a brain. And by moving the entrance to the bottom floor, I'm making sure everyone gets to know all parts of the building like a brain, which is an important key to rewire a brain. My color scheme comes from the sunrise, which represents a new beginning for the patient. For my walls, I'm using an orange texture wall and a gray concrete wall to even out the warmth color from the orange. For my floor finishes, I'm mainly using a warm wood and a cold gray carpet, and the carpet is for acoustic purposes and for comfort purposes, so you can sit comfortably on the floor. For furniture, I'm using red linen and blue linen for details. nature where you sit in the middle and you're surrounded by the books and the beautiful view. Since big parts of the facade is made of glass, I decided that this part will be made of smart glass, so only the light will get in and not the heat. The reason why there's no window in this elevation is because it's towards the quiet area of the building and I don't want it to be disturbed by people looking or noise from open windows.